America's #1.
On this Martin Luther King Jr. Day, Dr. King's family still marching, this time across the Frederick Douglass Bridge in Washington. Protesters there calling for the passage of voting rights reform. The legislation is currently stalled in the Senate. Speaking before the march, King's oldest son, Martin Luther King III, saying that his mother always said MLK Day should be a day on, not off. Later, our conversation with Martin Luther King III on the meaning of his father's legacy and what remains to be done. New developments in the 10-hour hostage standoff at a synagogue in Texas. We hear about a daring decision the rabbi made that allowed him and 2 others to escape. Meanwhile, authorities in the UK tell ABC that 2 teens they arrested are the attackers' sons. The brutal force of winter storms being felt from Georgia all the way to Maine, snarling traffic with hundreds of car accidents and leaving up to 2 feet of snow in some places. Further south, tornadoes touching down in Florida. The Supreme Court will hear arguments tomorrow in a high-stakes free speech case that poses the question, does the First Amendment protect a Christian flag flying over Boston City Hall?
It's kind of ludicrous to think flying a flag on a flagpole for maybe an hour or 2 will somehow get people to think, oh my goodness, look at the city of Boston is now endorsing the Protestant or the Christian faith.
Powerful images coming out of the Pacific island nation of Tonga, where a series of undersea volcanic eruptions triggered tsunamis across the Pacific. And finally tonight, we speak with the man who broke the racial barrier on the ice for the NHL about what it was like to be the first professional black hockey player in America and why challenging stereotypes in sports is important.
I got it from the fans, the racial remarks and slurs from the opposing players, but I just let it went in one ear and out the other.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Lindsay Davis. Thanks so much for streaming with us. They had trained for an active shooter, and then came the real thing. We begin tonight with how an act of good faith at a place of worship turned into a nightmare scenario. And tonight we're learning some chilling new details about that hostage horror at a Dallas area synagogue. The rabbi at Beth Israel Synagogue in Colleyville, Texas, says he let the suspect in to have tea with him Saturday, thinking that he was a troubled soul in need of prayer. A short time later, with the service underway and being live streamed to the community, the rabbi heard a click. It was from a gun, which then began a nearly 11-hour standoff that ultimately ended with the rabbi throwing a chair at the gunman and escaping with 2 other hostages. Their escape caught on camera. The suspect then chased after them, pointing his gun. Authorities released the image of the attacker, identified as 44-year-old British national Malik Faisal Akram. And tonight we are learning 2 teenagers being questioned in the UK are his sons. Maria Villarreal leads us off tonight from Texas.
Tonight, new details emerging about that terrifying hostage standoff inside a North Texas synagogue. A British national allegedly armed with a gun, holding 4 people hostage for more than 11 hours. Rabbi Charlie Citron Walker describing on CBS Mornings the moment he and 2 congregants escaped, with the suspect Malik Faisal Akram growing increasingly agitated.
The exit wasn't too far away. I told them to go. I threw a chair at the gunman, and I headed for the door.
In this video from our affiliate WFAA, 2 hostages and the rabbi are seen leaving from a side door, followed by a man holding a gun. Less than a minute after the man moves back inside the building, gunfire erupts. And the FBI hostage rescue team quickly rushes in. Tonight, investigators say that Akram, who was not on any U.S. government watch list, arrived in New York from London more than 2 weeks ago before traveling to Texas. The incident in Colleyville unfolding Saturday morning when Citron Walker says he answered a knock on a synagogue window. The rabbi saying he and Akram spoke over tea. At 10:45, Akram erupting Shabbat service streaming on Facebook Live.
He said he had a gun. It's a nightmare.
For hours, FBI crisis negotiators speaking to the suspect who allegedly threatened to kill the 4 hostages if convicted al-Qaeda supporter Afia Siddiqui was not released from prison. After nearly 7 hours, 1 hostage was released. Just after 9 p.m., the other 3 making that daring escape.
Such a dramatic escape right there. Maria Villarreal joins us now. And Maria, you have some new information on warnings that federal agencies are sending to places of worship. What's the latest on that?
That's exactly right, Lindsay. Given this volatile environment that we are in and because of what we saw over the weekend, right now FBI and DHS, they are issuing a new warning to communities of faith. They are basically saying right now they believe they will be the likely and continued targets of extremism, violence, and terrorism. So their advice is to give these people right now is to stay vigilant.
And many people doing just that. Maria Villarreal, our thanks to you. Joining us now is Anna Sultan Eisen, a former president and one of the founding members of Congregation Beth Israel. Anna, first off, we just are so sorry. Of course, our hearts go out to you as a result of those horrifying moments that your community went through. And you were actually watching the live stream of the Sabbath services. At what point while watching did you realize that something just is not right?
Well, even before I started watching, I got a text message from a congregant and a friend who said the rabbi is being held hostage at CBI, our congregation. And I called her, I just couldn't comprehend it. And she was quite hysterical and said, get on Facebook. And so when I clicked on live, I already had an idea there was something terrible going on. And when it started, there was no people visible. The laptop was pointing toward the pulpit. And I could hear that there was a conversation going on kind of in the background. And it was the voice of my rabbi that I recognized, quite calming and soothing. And then the voice of the hostage taker, I didn't know at the time, who was at times agitated, making demands, then saying he wasn't going to hurt anyone, and then talking on the phone to, I guess, the negotiators and making demands and also some threats.
And you said that you heard the calm, soothing voice of the rabbi. What was he saying?
I couldn't make out a lot of it. At one point, he did get on the telephone and say, we are not hurt at this point. We're all okay. But, I'm sure it sounded like he was just trying to be validating and, agreeable and just not to escalate the situation, which is something he is an expert at.
And it sounds like your congregation had already gone through this kind of training. Were you ever a part of that?
No, I wasn't there. I mean, I've received similar training. I am a licensed therapist, and when I worked in a behavioral health hospital, just like in schools, you get training for active shooters and all kinds of crisis. So, but not specifically for the congregation.
And what was it like in those moments as you were awaiting answers about the lives at stake inside the synagogue?
Well, the first few hours I was on the live stream, and it was just, terrifying and shocking. Part of me wanted to just walk away and turn it off because every moment you were just listening for the sounds of either, rescue or something horrifying. But I stayed glued for about 2 hours until they cut off the feed. And throughout, I was just messaging, texting, and talking with friends. At one point, there were about 8,000 people watching this happen live on the Facebook page.
Wow. And while, of course, we're still awaiting the details regarding a motive here, there is a real palpable fear for many who worship in synagogues. How do you see your community recovering and moving forward from this?
Well, first, let me say, recovery, was different for us because we had a good outcome. No one of the hostages were hurt. Everyone survived. And so we're actually planning a healing service tonight. We are not having to plan any funerals. So recovery for us is one of gratitude. And I think I was astounded at how powerful and intense and immediate the level of support was in our community, from strangers, from friends. And we really were very, very lucky that we had the outcome. But I feel like the outpouring of support really changed how I feel. I think I feel safer now. People have asked me, are you more afraid? No, because I've seen from the local community and law enforcement up to the governor, elite forces that came in from Quantico, in a crisis, people are going to be there for us.
All right, that is refreshing to hear your sentiments there. Anna, we thank you so much for your time and sharing your experience with us.
Thank you.
Next tonight, to the dire warning from some of America's top airline CEOs. They say the vast majority of flights in this country could be essentially grounded as soon as Wednesday. It's over an issue with the 5G rollout, and it could leave tens of thousands of Americans stranded overseas. ABC's transportation correspondent Gio Benitez reports.
Tonight, a stark warning from airline and air cargo CEOs urging U.S. officials to clamp down on the launch of stronger 5G frequencies set for Wednesday, hoping AT&T and Verizon will keep those signals at least 2 miles away from America's airports. The CEOs sounding the alarm, saying in a letter, immediate intervention is needed to avoid significant operational disruption.
This is unsafe. Let us be clear. This is unsafe.
Planes have a device called the radio altimeter, measuring the distance between the plane and the ground. Pilots use it to land the plane. The FAA says pilots will not be able to use that radio altimeter to land at 88 airports closest to those 5G towers. So in bad weather, when pilots can't see the ground, they'd have to land somewhere else. The airlines say this will trigger a slew of cancellations and delays. While other countries have successfully launched similar 5G signals, the FAA says there are key differences. In France, the signals are permanently blocked near airports, protecting the final minute and a half of flights as they land. In the U.S., the signals will only be blocked for the next 6 months and for just the final 20 seconds of landings.
Gio Benitez joins us now from Newark Airport. Gio, what's a worst-case scenario here if 5G rolls out? What are airlines concerned about in a worst-case scenario?
So, Lindsay, you saw in that piece there that the radio altimeter, that device is needed to land the plane. If pilots can't use that, they need to be able to see the ground. Consider weather like we saw today or this weekend. The airlines say that if that weather condition were in place and the 5G had already rolled out, they would have actually had to cancel more than 1,000 more flights just because of that. And that's what they're so concerned about.
And Gio, you mentioned the 5G technology is already in use in France. Why does the FAA say what works in other countries won't work here?
Yeah, and look, experts have been looking at this, Lindsay, but what the FAA is saying is that here in America, the 5G signals will actually be 2.5 times stronger than what they're using in France, for example. They are saying that the signals here in America will be stronger than anywhere in the world, and they want to make sure that the planes and the 5G are able to work together without a problem.
All right, makes sense. Gio Benitez, our thanks to you. Now to the pandemic and the Omicron surge. American hospitals are in crisis with cases exploding and staff in short supply, but we are also seeing a glimmer of hope as cases are starting to taper off in places where Omicron struck first. Here's ABC's Stephanie Ramos with the very latest.
Despite COVID cases receding in parts of the Northeast, tonight hospitals from coast to coast are warning they are in the middle of a crisis.
It's just perfect storm for emergency departments being overcrowded, backed up, and not being able to move admitted patients out of the emergency department into hospital beds.
From Massachusetts to Central California, where short-staffed hospitals are pleading with the public on social media to get vaccinated. And patients without COVID are impacted too, as hospitals are postponing thousands of surgeries to care for COVID patients. In Milwaukee, Eddie Baez says his surgery for prostate cancer was delayed 2 weeks because of concerns about hospital beds and staffing.
I mean, cancer is cancer. It spreads daily. It spreads.
There are promising signs. Officials in the Northeast point out that fewer people are going into hospitals. In Washington, D.C., COVID cases are down 25% in the last week. In New York City and New Jersey, down 17%.
Still not out of the woods, but very, very good signs.
Dr. Anthony Fauci says it is still an open question whether a less severe Omicron variant could lead to the end of the pandemic. But even without another variant, Fauci says COVID will stay with us.
It's not going to be that you're going to eliminate this disease completely. We're not going to do that. But hopefully it will be at such a low level that it doesn't disrupt our normal social, economic, and other interactions with each other.
Starting over the weekend, Americans could start buying up to 8 at-home COVID tests each month and submit receipts for reimbursement from their health insurance plan. And on Wednesday, they'll also be able to log on to covidtests.gov to order up to 4 free at-home COVID tests per household.
Those tests for many cannot come soon enough. Stephanie Ramos joins us now. Stephanie, tell us about the new research out of Israel that's looking into the effectiveness of a 4th vaccine shot.
So, Lindsay, researchers in Israel say they looked at how well a 4th dose holds up against Omicron, finding that a 4th shot does increase antibody levels, but not always enough to stop a breakthrough infection. In Israel, a 4th shot has been authorized for those at highest risk, but here in the U.S., a 4th dose has not been authorized for the general public, Lindsay.
Understood. Okay, Stephanie Ramos, thanks so much. And now to that monster cross-country storm that snarled travel for millions during the weekend, pounding parts of the country with feet of snow and canceling thousands of flights over the past few days. Our Trevor Ault is tracking it all tonight from hard-hit Buffalo, New York.
Tonight, all kinds of dangerous winter weather wreaking havoc for millions of Americans. East of Cleveland, Ashtabula, Ohio, in the bullseye for whiteout conditions.
Over a foot of snow has already fallen, and it's still coming down.
And they got more than 2 feet. First responders there struggling just to reach stranded cars and trucks. And Buffalo shattering their daily record by 6 o'clock this morning.
Neighbors are trying to free this bus right now. It got stuck trying to back up on this side street because if you look up just a block ahead, there's another bus that was already stuck.
In Niagara Falls, Steve and Michael shoveled 6 hours to get to work.
More than what we expected.
Yeah.
Definitely. Haven't seen this winter in a long time.
Where there wasn't snow, there was ice. Watch as driver after driver loses control on this icy road near Raleigh's airport. In Durham, this tractor trailer sliding off a frozen overpass. The driver taken to the hospital, and at least 2 people were killed when their car skidded off I-95 in Nash County. The same system spawned tornadoes on Florida's west coast, including this EF2 in Fort Myers. Winds up to 118 miles an hour, destroying this trailer park.
And after snowfall rates of 4 inches per hour today, now lake effect snow is a possibility through the morning. But even without it, temperatures dipping below freezing even into the south means black ice is now a threat tonight. Lindsay?
Trevor, thank you so much. Still hatless from that huge snow pile there. And now let's bring in our chief meteorologist, Ginger Z, who's tracking the remnants of that major storm and the next Arctic blast already underway. Good evening to you, Ginger.
Lindsay, what a remarkable storm. Just even thinking about what happened yesterday in Manhattan went from single digits, the temperature, all the way to a severe thunderstorm warning that many people were woken up by less than 24 hours later. It's really hard to get a severe thunderstorm warning in the month of January in the 5 boroughs, but we did it. This storm certainly has a little bit left in it, 2 to 4 inches of snow possible as it wraps around. Look at western New York getting some of that, Binghamton all the way up through Syracuse, and yes, it'll go through New England. I've seen a few flakes here, so don't be surprised if you see that, but additional 2 to 4 tops. It's really going to be about the wind. Those wind advisories stretch from central Pennsylvania all the way back through Appalachia, and some of those wind advisories are for gusts up to 50 miles per hour. You can see why. We're going to go ticking through the time here. By Tuesday morning, you're still seeing a 36 mile per hour wind gust at New York City, nearly 30 at Hartford, 36 for Boston. So it's still going to be a breezy start, and that's going to make it feel even colder than it actually is. But don't worry, if you want to actually have colder air temperatures, you will. In the Northeast, it'll come by Friday, but look at those, the wind chills anywhere from 20 to 40 below. It'll feel like 11 below in Kansas City Thursday morning. Lindsay?
Who wants those colder temperatures, Ginger?
I don't know. Those people are out there.
Our thanks to you. I'm sure they are. Thank you so much. Bundle up.
Thanks.
And now switching gears, on this Martin Luther King Jr. Day, a day of service, there are loud calls to protect voting rights, something that MLK himself fought for. And now his family, including his 13-year-old granddaughter, they are continuing to make their voices heard. Here's ABC's congressional correspondent, Rachel Scott.
Just one day before a critical vote in the Senate, the family of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. marching in the nation's capital to demand action on voting rights. Voting rights! When do we want it? Now! But they know the odds are stacked against them. Senate Republicans are opposed, and 2 Democratic senators, Joe Manchin of West Virginia and Kyrsten Sinema of Arizona, refuse to change the Senate rules so Democrats can pass the legislation on their own. Dr. King's 13-year-old granddaughter calling them out by name.
Senator Sinema, Senator Manchin, our future hinges on your decision, and history will remember what choice you make.
Manchin released a statement celebrating Dr. King's legacy, but made no mention of voting rights. Martin Luther King III telling me that falls short.
It's kind of frustrating for people to be releasing statements, and you really have not totally adhered to my father's ideals. So my hope and my message to him would be, Senator, you got to go further.
Rachel Scott joins us now. And Rachel, we heard that sound from Dr. King's granddaughter urging Senator Manchin and Sinema, naming them by name to join the rest of the Senate Democrats and push this legislation forward. Take a listen to an interview that I had with that young girl's mother and father, Martin Luther King III. How would you like Americans to commemorate Martin Luther King Day this year?
And my mom used to say, a day on, not a day off. Engagement means that, you know, celebration, good or bad, when we say birthday, we automatically think about celebration. When my mother said during the King holiday, an observance, we were always engaged in some kind of activity. This year, we are almost laserly focused on getting the right to vote sustained, getting the right to vote empowered. In light of the fact that 19 states so far have passed 34 bills to make it harder to vote, and now that the legislatures are getting ready to gear up again, there may be as many as 40 states or 35 states that engage in legislation this year. That is why we need federal voting rights oversight. And that is part of what this bill will do.
And Rachel, of course, President Biden is feeling the pressure, but are Senators Manchin and Sinema moving at all on this?
Lindsay, there does not really seem to be anything at this point that will sway Senator Joe Manchin or Senator Kyrsten Sinema. The president met with them on Capitol Hill and then invited them to the White House. They still have not changed their minds. They support voting rights legislation, but they do not support changing the Senate rules in order for Democrats to pass it on their own. So when this comes to a vote tomorrow in the Senate, it is likely to fail, Lindsay.
All right, Rachel Scott, our thanks to you. And you can see more of our conversation with Martin Luther King III and his wife coming up in our next hour. And when we come back, cut off from the outside world, what do we know about the aftermath from that undersea volcanic eruption as the concerns grow for the people living in Tonga? The Good Samaritans who jumped in to save a family with just seconds to spare. But up next, the Supreme Court case few know about that could have wide-reaching implications when it comes to free speech and religion. What the justices may hear tomorrow. Coming up next.
With so much at stake, so much on the line, more Americans turn here than any place else. ABC News World News Tonight with David Muir, America's #1 most watched newscast, now streaming on ABC News Live.
It was a scary time. In the 70s, you had multiple bodies showing up in Los Angeles.
There were so many murders happening. You had to have a name for it, serial killer.
There was a human head in there. This was premeditated evil.
We have this clock. This person is going to do this again.
It's me against the killer. Who's going to win?
We'll see who laughs last.
What came next was unlike anything they had ever seen.
Admit it. These days, what you need to know
seems to change just about every day.
What is it that you really want to know, need to know?
To help you not just get through your day,
but to make the most of it. Feel smarter.
Feel better.
Feel happier.
Well, how about a third hour of Good Morning America?
GMA 3, what you need to know. Now streaming on ABC News Live.
It's all about you.
I risked my life. I put my family in danger. If I was caught, they would have put a bullet in my head. But it was the right thing to do. It was the only thing to do.
Terror plot foiled in Garden City, Kansas.
That would have been one of the most deadly acts of domestic terrorism ever in the United States.
It would have been Oklahoma City.
Where the sky
He put his family, himself in jeopardy for us.
24 hours, assault on the Capitol. The ABC News original, exclusively on Hulu. Now streaming. This is what being live is all about. This is ABC News Live.
All right, we're gonna move back. Let's move back.
We're surrounded by people squeezing into this bomb shelter.
We're on an urgent delivery run.
Not afraid to go there.
So my question, Mr. President, what are you so afraid of?
Breaking news, live events.
This is the moment.
Streaming straight to you, anytime, anywhere.
You just met one friend right here.
You're watching ABC News Live. Thanks for streaming with us.
National parks are incredibly safe places. A crime will happen.
Hey, my wife has fallen. She's in really critical condition.
At that time, I thought it was just a tragic accident. There's still a lot of questions we need to ask.
There were small things that didn't totally add up.
This is 2 lives for Harold that have died now. I was shocked. Something's not right.
The search continues for the suspected killer of a UCLA grad student who was murdered in horrific fashion while working in a high-end furniture store. Police believe the suspect came through the front door and killed Brianna Kupfer, who was alone in the store at the time. A customer then found her body 20 minutes after the suspect was seen on surveillance leaving out of the back. Now to a major showdown at the Supreme Court over a public flagpole, a Christian flag, and the First Amendment. Tomorrow, the justices will take up a case from the city of Boston, where the founder of a summer camp is suing over officials' refusal to fly his flag at City Hall. It's a clash between the separation of church and state and free speech, creating some unlikely alliances. Here's ABC's Devin Dwyer.
At Camp Constitution,
attention to the colors,
reverence for the flag, and lessons on the nation's founding values.
Self-government means that you allow God to govern you from within.
An annual celebration of God and guns.
And I think it's just too important teaching these principles to the next generation.
For more than a decade, founder Hal Shurtleff has brought together campers young and old to pay homage to the words he says made America. And on Constitution Day in 2017, he planned a tribute outside Boston City Hall, applying for a permit to raise a flag on this flagpole open for use by private groups. But the city said no.
It's a public access flagpole, and when I got the initial rejection, I asked for an email or a letter, and they said separation of church and state, First Amendment.
Shurtleff says he wants to fly the Christian flag to honor the faith of the Founding Fathers. Designed in the late 1880s, the white banner with red Latin cross has been adopted by many American Protestant communities. City officials had approved 284 private flags over a dozen years, including flags to mark Juneteenth, LGBT Pride Month, and the area's immigrant communities. But Shurtleff's Christian flag was the first and only one they'd rejected.
It's kind of ludicrous to think flying a flag on a flagpole for maybe an hour or two will somehow get people to think, oh my goodness, look at the city of Boston is now endorsing the Protestant or the Christian faith.
Camp Constitution appealed all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court, arguing they have a free speech right to fly their flag in a public space that they say is open to all. But the city of Boston disagrees, saying that flying the Christian flag would violate another constitutional provision, separation of church and state.
Well, this is an 83-foot tall flagpole in front of City Hall that's associated with the government. That's why this religious group wants to use it, is because it carries with it some government imprimatur. So we say the city can control that.
The city says it has a policy not to promote religion on its flagpoles.
The city, for its own speech, does not want to get into the issue of religion.
And in court documents, Boston's lawyers argue flag raisings were in connection with publicly recognized days of remembrance and that the city had never flown a purely private flag on a random day. Supporters of the policy say it protects the city from unwanted association with divisive messages. And in this case, a flag that critics allege has been co-opted by hate groups.
What is it about this that's so problematic?
This Christian flag is associated with Christian nationalism. This is the same flag that was used during the January 6th insurrection So this is really, akin to them trying to take over City Hall and saying, hey, this is a Christian place.
First off, I don't know of any white nationalists carrying Christian flags. It may have happened, but I don't know. But this flag simply represents Christianity. It was designed by a couple of Sunday school teachers, not exactly white supremacists.
The Supreme Court has limited the display of religious symbols by governments, but it has also said that censorship of ideas in public forums isn't allowed. The ACLU is siding with Camp Constitution.
If they can turn them into government speech outlets and to deny First Amendment claims, then the free speech rights of all of us will be greatly diminished. When the government opens its public property for private speakers, it has to treat everybody equally.
But is the city's flagpole truly a public forum? Boston insists it never intended for the flagpole to be used by anyone for any reason, telling the High Court that if it rules for Camp Constitution, the city may change its flag-raising program to take back control.
We're optimistic that they will rule in our favor and that we will be allowed to raise the flag, although I understand the city will most likely cancel its flag-raising events, so we'll see what happens.
A battle over a flagpole, faith, and the First Amendment that could potentially expand protections for religious expression and free speech in the public square.
And as that gentleman said, we will see what happens. Our thanks to Devin for that. Still ahead here on Prime, the $1 million estimated heist inside the home of actress Loughlin and her husband, and the investigation now underway. He's being called a hero, and tonight you will hear from the helicopter pilot who made this miraculous landing. And celebrating an American hero, we take a look at the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King by the numbers. But first, our tweet of the day, one from his daughter, Bernice King, making sure the world knows her iconic father only achieved greatness because Coretta Scott King was right by his side.
It was an extraordinary story.
A computer salesman was supposed to report to prison to begin a 17-year sentence.
They let him turn himself into jail with no escort.
No one thought he would run.
How do you evade capture for 25 years? How do you do that?
Now, join the search, following the U.S. Marshals as they uncover new leads in a global manhunt. Can you help catch this fugitive?
Have you seen this man?
Have you seen this man?
Have you seen this man? Listen and join the all-new hunt wherever you get your podcasts.
It was a scary time. In the 70s, you had multiple bodies showing up in Los Angeles.
There were so many murders happening. You had to have a name for it, serial killer.
There was a human head in there. This was premeditated evil.
You have this clock. This person is going to do this again.
It's me against the killer. Who's going to win?
We'll see who laughs last.
What came next was unlike anything they had ever seen.
World News Now.
And America This Morning.
The best new videos.
Breaking news overnight.
Your money and concerns about inflation.
The pandemic is not over.
The stories people are talking about.
You don't want to shave your legs? Don't. I was going to say. And what to expect in the day ahead.
From the top of the world, baby! ABC World News Now and America This Morning.
Weekday mornings starting at 2 a.m. Eastern.
Up all night to keep you up to date.
This is American history. A violent white mob, a brutal attack, 300 Black Americans killed right here in America. Now, it is time to uncover Tulsa's buried truth. The gripping story brought to light in a new podcast from ABC News. Available now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcast app.
This is what being live is all about. This is ABC News Live.
All right, we're gonna move back. Let's move back.
We're surrounded by people squeezing into this bomb shelter.
We're on an urgent delivery run.
Not afraid to go there.
So my question, Mr. President, what are you so afraid of?
Breaking news, live events.
This is the moment.
Streaming straight to you, anytime, anywhere.
You just met one friend right here.
You're watching ABC News Live. Thanks for streaming with us. Welcome back, everyone. On this Martin Luther King Day, we take a look at how this important federal holiday came to be, and that is tonight's By the Numbers. It took 15 years of activism to create this day, with some contentious fights along the way. 4 days after Dr. King's assassination in 1968, Congressman John Conyers of Michigan introduced the first bill to establish a Martin Luther King Jr. federal holiday, an effort that did not succeed. In 1980, singer Stevie Wonder released his hit song Happy Birthday, you know that version, in honor of Dr. King and to promote the creation of the holiday. A few years later, the King Center organized a march on Washington of an estimated 500,000 people to further the cause. Coretta Scott King, along with Stevie Wonder, presented a petition signed by 6 million people to then House Leader Tip O'Neill. In August 1983, the House passed the King Holiday Bill, which made the third Monday in January a federal holiday dedicated to Dr. King. But the bill faced fierce opposition in the Senate, an effort led by then-Senator Jesse Helms, who accused Dr. King of being a communist. The bill still passed, though, by a vote of 78 to 22 and was signed into law by President Ronald Reagan. Yet it was not until 1999 that the holiday was enacted in all 50 states. And we still have lots to get to here on Prime tonight. On this MLK Day, our conversation with the first black person to ever play in the National Hockey League, with his team now set to honor him. And Valentine's Day is less than a month away, and Sotheby's is auctioning off this black diamond that has been on a journey that is out of this world. But first, a look at our top trending stories on abcnews.com.
Powerful stories of our time, anytime. Nightline.
It's an extraordinary story.
A computer salesman was supposed to report to prison to begin a 17-year sentence.
They let him turn himself into jail with no escort.
No one thought he would run.
How do you evade capture for 25 years? How do you do that?
Now, join the search, following the U.S. Marshals as they uncover new leads in a global manhunt. Can you help catch this fugitive?
Have you seen this man?
Have you seen this man?
Have you seen this man? Listen and join the all-new hunt wherever you get your podcasts.
Now streaming on ABC News Live 2020. True crime, cinematic, real-life drama, stunning, the unthinkable. Follow the clues. The Hunt. True crime 2020. Now streaming on ABC News Live.
National parks are incredibly safe places. A crime will happen.
Hey, Mama. My wife has fallen. She's in really critical condition.
At that time, I thought it was just a tragic accident. There's still a lot of questions we need to ask.
There were small things that didn't totally add up.
This is 2 lives for Harold that have died now. I was shocked. Something's not right.
Admit it. These days, what you need to know
Seems to change just about every day.
What is it that you really want to know, need to know,
To help you not just get through your day,
but to make the most of it? Feel smarter.
feel better.
Feel happier.
Well, how about a third hour of Good Morning America?
GMA 3, what you need to know. Now streaming on ABC News Live.
It's all about you.
I know what happened, and I'm not guilty.
Why the fascination with criminal trials? Figure out what's really out there.
She revealed she had murdered his family.
I know in my heart they did this.
It's the time of suspicion. The ending's really tough.
You don't know whether truth is going to be difficult to find unless you try to find it.
This is what being live is all about. This is ABC News Live.
All right, we're gonna move back. Let's move back. We're surrounded by people squeezing into this bomb shelter.
We're on an urgent delivery run.
Not afraid to go there.
So my question, Mr. President, what are you so afraid of?
Breaking news, live events.
This is the moment.
Streaming straight to you, anytime, anywhere.
You just met one friend right here.
You're watching ABC News Live. Thanks for streaming with us.
The U.S. reporting nearly 800,000 new COVID cases a day, pushing hospitals to the brink, some dealing with short staffing. In Boston, Mass General Brigham Hospital announcing they're postponing 2,200 surgeries a week.
We are deferring surgeries for what we consider to be benign tumors or masses, but some of those, of course, turn out to be cancer.
Millions infected having to isolate away from work and out of school. Companies including Starbucks and McDonald's are now warning customers that staffing shortages due to COVID could force some locations to close early or open late.
There are promising signs. Officials in the Northeast point out that fewer people are going into hospitals. In Washington, D.C., COVID cases are down 25% in the last week. In New York City and New Jersey, down 17%.
Still not out of the woods.
It's not going to be that you're going to eliminate this disease completely. We're not going to do that. But hopefully it will be at such a low level that it doesn't disrupt our normal social, economic, and other interactions with each other.
We're hearing from the pilot of a medical helicopter who managed to crash land outside Philadelphia, saving everyone on board, including a 2-month-old.
Daniel Moore left a Philadelphia hospital Sunday, 5 days after his medical helicopter crash landed outside of a church in suburban Philadelphia. He said he was fortunate and that God was his co-pilot.
I pretty much just facilitate the heroes in the back that are working on patients. The things that my crew did after we crashed and post-crash, to me, were amazing. I was just a lump on the ground, and they were taking care of me.
Moore has a message for those he calls the real heroes.
To all the first responders and everybody that have helped throughout this whole thing, my deepest heartfelt thank you.
By the way, Moore has several broken bones himself, but he says he's going to be just fine.
A search for suspects underway in the home burglary of Lori Loughlin and husband Massimo Giannulli. Earlier this month, at least one suspect entered the couple's Hidden Hills home through a back bedroom window and stole approximately $1 million worth of jewelry. The actress, her fashion designer husband, and their children were not home at the time. Detectives say a South American crime group responsible for other burglaries in the area could be responsible. A representative for Loughlin tells TMZ Bob Saget's death has shifted her perspective on material things, saying family is what matters.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
A daring car rescue in Miami. Good Samaritans rushing to save a family of 4 trapped upside down in their car, landing in a ditch filled with water. Police arriving on the scene, pulling out 2 children and 2 adults. Luckily, no one was badly hurt.
And I don't think it'll come as any surprise to you to know that I'm an animal nut. I love them deeply and dearly.
On what would have been Betty White's 100th birthday, people are honoring the beloved actress by taking on the Betty White Challenge and donating to animal shelters.
It encourages everyone to make a donation to a shelter, rescue, or other animal organization.
Say hello to the
On Good Morning America today, Lara Spencer was at the North Shore Animal League in Port Washington, the world's largest no-kill shelter. They say any donation amount helps.
Every dollar counts, it really does. And we're doing the 100 Animal Rescue, where we're rescuing from our locally and from our shelter partners around the country. And it takes money to do the transporting, to do the spay-neuter, to do the examinations, to take care of them medically, and to staff them. So we appreciate every dollar.
Well, GMA also announced today a donation of $100,000 from Mars Incorporated to be split among 5 animal shelters, including North Shore.
Welcome back, everyone. We are still waiting to learn the full extent of the damage and number of casualties in the remote Pacific island nation of Tonga after a series of undersea volcanic eruptions triggered a powerful tsunami. The eruptions were so loud that the boom was heard 6,000 miles away in Alaska. ABC's Matt Gutman has the very latest.
Tonight, that race to help an island nation after that once-in-a-lifetime underwater volcano erupted off the coast of Tonga this weekend.
The situation in Tonga is not stable yet. We have limited access to information.
Australia and New Zealand launching surveillance flights to aid their devastated South Pacific neighbor. These dramatic images showing that earth-shattering explosion. Volcanic clouds of smoke and ash seen bellowing into the sky. A Japanese weather satellite detecting ash plumes measuring as high as 12 miles.
We are preparing to launch our disaster emergency fund to provide additional relief items in water and sanitation and shelter and hygiene kits. And then really we're just waiting to get more detailed information to inform the scale of the response.
And tonight, those before and after satellite images showing the volcanic island itself obliterated. Those waves and a blizzard of ash turning the lush green islands into a sludgy brown. At least one person has been killed in Tonga.
I haven't got the words in my vocabulary to even describe how we're feeling at the moment. This is just a terrible shock.
The full number of casualties remains unknown, the volcano first erupting Friday. And then again on Saturday, triggering tsunami waves that pummeled the island and raced 6,500 miles across the Pacific. High seas blamed for the death of 2 people swimming off a beach in Peru, the warning even reaching as far as Southern California.
Seriously?
The tsunami cutting off phone and internet lines for the entire nation of 100,000 people.
The challenge is nobody is in contact with anybody on the island, and therefore we are all a bit in the dark about exactly the scale of damage or what people are experiencing. Now, what we do know is that the ashfall has been significant and the tsunami waves have been destructive, but we don't know the extent of the damage.
Our thanks to Matt for that. The saga involving tennis star Novak Djokovic's decision not to get vaccinated continues. Now he risks not being able to play in the French Open in May. The French Sport Ministry said today there would be no exemptions from a new vaccine pass law that just passed, which requires people to show proof of vaccination to enter public areas. The ministry did say the situation could change between now and May, but for now, athletes would not be exempt from the vaccine law. Now to one of the ultimate trailblazers in American sports. Willie O'Ree was the first black player in the NHL back in 1958. He is now 86 years young, and tomorrow O'Ree's number 22 is being retired by the Boston Bruins. He also could soon be awarded Congress's highest civilian honor, the Congressional Gold Medal, making him the first ever hockey player to receive it. We'll talk to him in just one moment, but first, take a look at his story.
Welcoming Mr. Willie O'Ree.
Willie O'Ree didn't set out to be the first. He just had a passion for hockey. Born in 1935 as the youngest of 13, the Canadian athlete faced an uphill battle in the sport he loved. The NHL says they didn't have a rule that prohibited blacks from joining the league, but no black player had ever made the cut until Willie.
Started skating at the age of 3, started playing organized hockey at the age of 5. When I was 14 years of age, I decided I wanted to become a professional hockey player.
That dream seemed almost unattainable when he was struck in the eye with a hockey puck in a junior game, an injury that left him completely blind in his right eye.
I kept it a secret. I didn't tell them. So I just told myself, I said, forget about what you can't see and concentrate on what you can see.
But 2 years later, in 1958, O'Ree joined the Boston Bruins more than 10 years after Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier in Major League Baseball. Willie would go on to play 45 games in the NHL over 2 seasons, retiring from professional hockey in 1979.
I didn't realize that at that time that I had broke barriers and opened doors for other, not only black players, but players of color.
His breakthrough, like that of many black pioneers in the 50s, was met with overt racism. Hockey fans taunted him with racial slurs in arenas across the country.
You'll have to take a lot. Being the first color player, I've heard a few jeers like that, but I guess all hockey players can. Yeah.
After retiring from hockey, Willie continued the fight to diversify a league that was still mostly white, joining the NHL in 1998 as a diversity ambassador.
Turn around!
He played a major role in building and supporting more than 30 nonprofit youth programs for hockey across North America.
If you think you can, you can. If you think you can't, you're right. And there's a lot of truth to that. So you boys and girls can do anything you set your mind to do.
In 2018, he was inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame. His work and his legacy paving the way for black players not just to play in the NHL, but to reach stardom in a league that was once exclusively white. Willie O'Ree, congratulations on this high honor, and thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you very much, Lindsay. It certainly is a pleasure to be here.
So first things first, I'm just curious that back in the 40s and 50s, what drew you to hockey as a young man?
Well, actually, when I was 14 years of age, I decided I wanted to play professional hockey. And I made 2 goals for myself: to play professional hockey and hopefully one day to play in the National Hockey League. I worked at it, and then when I left my home when I was 17 years of age to go up to Quebec to play my first year junior, and then I played my second year junior, turned pro in 1956. But I had a burning desire within myself that I wanted to be a professional hockey player, and I worked towards it.
And take us back in particular to 1958. You were 22 years old and you become the first Black NHL player ever. Did you feel the magnitude and weight of the history at that moment and realize the impact that you would have?
Not really. I was playing professional hockey in Quebec City with the Quebec Aces. We were affiliated with the Bruins, and then the Bruins called the Quebec Aces and said, we want O'Ree to meet the Bruins in Montreal to play 2 games against the Montreal Canadiens on Saturday night, the 18th, and then on Sunday, the 19th. I was sat down with the coach, Emil Schmidt, and the general manager, Lynn Patrick, and they just said, Willie, we brought you up because we think you can add a little something to the team. I didn't realize I broke the color barrier till I read it in the paper the next morning. It really meant a lot to me. At the time, I was just so excited that I got the opportunity to play in the National Hockey League and with the Boston Bruins.
And of course, it is Martin Luther King Day, and we're reflecting on the civil rights movement of the 50s and 60s, right as you were making history. Tell us about the racism that you did endure during those early years and also how you coped with it.
Well, thanks to my older brother, who was my brother Richard, who was not only my brother and my friend, but he was my mentor. And he taught me a lot of things that I would need to know about if I was going to choose hockey as a career. And he just said, Willie, just forget about the racism and the prejudice and the bigotry and the ignorance. He says, if people can't accept you for the individual that you are, because at the time I had the skills and the ability to play in the league. But yeah, I got it from the fans, the racial remarks and slurs, from the opposing players, but I just let it went in one ear and out the other. I knew if I fought every time somebody called me a name that I'd be in the penalty box all the time. So it was hard. It was hard at the beginning, but later on, I did gain the respect of not only the fans in the stands, but the players on the opposition.
And what does it mean to you now to have your number retired by the Bruins and to also be on the verge of being awarded with a congressional gold medal?
I have been blessed over the years, and some of the wonderful things that are happening to me and the wonderful people that I am coming in contact with. It's overwhelming, and I'm just thrilled. I'm just thrilled to death.
And we did mention in the piece that you lost sight in your right eye before you went into the NHL. Doctors had advised you to quit the sport, but you kept at it, persevered. How much of a challenge was that for you, and why did you decide to keep it a secret?
Well, first of all, back then, none of the players wore any helmets, no face shields, no cages, nothing to protect your face. And, you're playing out there and sticks and pucks are flying around. And I just happened to be in front of the net. There was a slap shot. A deflection, the puck come up and struck me in the right eye, broke my nose, broke my cheek, and I remember dropping down to the ice, and the next thing I knew, I was placed in an ambulance and taken to the hospital. Dr. Henderson was the surgeon, and I'm in my recovery room, and the doctor comes in and says, Mr. O'Ree, he says, I'm sorry to inform you, the impact of the puck completely shattered the retina in your right eye, and you're going to be blind and you'll never play hockey again. And within the next 5 weeks, I'm back on the ice skating and practicing. The thing is that being a left-hand shot and playing left wing, to compensate, I had to turn my head all the way around to the right to pick the puck and pick. So I just said, forget about what you can't see and concentrate on what you can see. So my game picked up, and the season ends, and I go back to my hometown. When I got back to my hometown, my parents had thought that I'd recovered from my injury because had been back playing and practicing. And they said, oh, thank God, he's all right. He's regained the sight in his eye. But I was totally blind, and I never told my parents. I told my younger sister, Betty, And I swore her to secrecy. I said, sis, don't say anything, because if they find out that I'm blind, I won't play pro hockey, and I definitely won't be able to play in the National Hockey League.
What a secret to have to keep all that time. But in the end, making those 2 goals, getting a checkbox next to both of them. I'm just curious, why do you think the diversity is so lacking in hockey?
There are more black girls and black boys and players of color playing hockey today than ever before. So we're going in the right direction. And, you know, I've been with the program for now going on about 24 years since I first started. And I have noticed a big influx of boys and girls coming into play. And
well, Willie O'Ree, you are an inspiration to so many. We thank you again for talking with us tonight. Your story really speaks volumes about the possibilities of going for it, even once you lost your sight in the eye. It's really just an impressive story. So thank you.
Yeah, goal setting is very important, Lindsay. It really is. You need to set goals for yourself, and you need to believe in yourself and feel good about yourself and like yourself. And this is what I try and instill in these boys and girls. You can do anything you set your mind to do if you feel strongly within your mind and within your heart. And, you know, if you think you can, you can. If you think you can't, you won't. And
You're right.
It's so very true.
Right. There's a quote there, whether you think you can or can't do something, you are right. Willie O'Ree, thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure.
And before we go tonight, the image of the day. Look at that. That is a 555-carat black diamond called the Enigma, and it is truly out of this world. This rare gem, which most believe came from space, is being auctioned by Sotheby's Dubai Gallery. It's expected to fetch nearly $7 million or cryptocurrency if that's your preferred payment. And that is our show for this hour. Be sure to stay tuned to ABC News Live for more context and analysis of the day's top stories. Thanks so much for streaming with us. Next hour, our Ian panel is on the ground in Ukraine. Is that region really on the brink of war? And more from our conversation with Martin Luther King III as we examine where things stand with the voting rights push. And we'll also explore this nation's struggles with racism.
More Americans choose ABC News, America's #1 news source. This is what being live is all about. This is ABC News Live.
All right, we're gonna move back. Let's move back. We're surrounded by people squeezing into this bomb shelter.
We're on an urgent delivery run.
Not afraid to go there.
So my question, Mr. President, what are you so afraid of?
Breaking news, live events.
This is the moment.
Streaming straight to you, anytime, anywhere.
You just met one friend right here.
You're watching ABC News Live. Thanks for streaming with us.
Admit it, these days, what you need to know
Seems to change just about every day.
What is it that you really want to know, need to know?
To help you not just get through your day,
but to make the most of it. Feel smarter.
Feel better.
Feel happier.
Well, how about a third hour of Good Morning America?
GMA 3, what you need to know. Now streaming on ABC News Live.
It's all about you.
The ladies you love, the hottest topics happening now. There's only one place to find it all.
You guys are having the hard conversations. I love The View.
The most watched #1 daytime talk show is The View. Now streaming on ABC News Live.
It was a scary time.
In the 70s, you had multiple bodies showing up in Los Angeles.
There were so many murders happening. You had to have a name for it, serial killer.
There was a human head in there. This was premeditated evil.
We have this clock. This person is going to do this again.
It's me against the killer. Who's going to win?
We'll see who laughs last.
What came next was unlike anything they had ever seen.
Shine.
ABC News honored winner of 9 Edward R. Murrow Awards, more than any other network, including winning for the 3rd straight year the award for overall excellence in television. ABC News is America's #1 news source. With so much at stake, more Americans turn here than any other newscast. ABC News World News Tonight with David Muir, America's #1 newscast and the #1 program on television.
Hey everyone, I'm Lindsay Davis. Thank you so much for streaming with us. We're monitoring several developments here at ABC News at this hour. Health officials warn the latest COVID-19 surge across much of the country has yet to peak. Approximately 800,000 cases are being reported every day. That's a record high. Hospitals once again being pushed to the brink, facing an influx of patients amid staffing shortages. Just under 1,800 people are dying from COVID-related death every day. That's up 52% from January 1st. We're now learning the rabbi who was being held hostage by Malik Faisal Akram at the Texas Synagogue threw a chair at the British national, which then allowed the remaining hostages to escape. British police have also arrested 2 teens believed to be the hostage takers' children. And that major deadly winter storm has moved away, but not before dumping 2 feet of snow in some areas. Hundreds of accidents were reported from Georgia all the way up to Maine. And now forecasters are eyeing a new cold blast with wind chills in some spots expected to be 40 below zero later this week. Yes, sadly, you heard that right. President and Vice President, meanwhile, are continuing their efforts to gain enough support in the Senate to pass new voter protections. However, pushback from Senate Democrats Kyrsten Sinema and Joe Manchin continue. Dr. King's 13-year-old granddaughter calling them both out by name today, saying our future hinges on their decision. But realistically, the chance of federal voting legislation getting passed is rather slim. ABC's Ike Ejachi is in Washington with the latest.
It's a major blow for protecting the right to vote for millions of Americans. Shortly before President Biden was scheduled to arrive on Capitol Hill to speak to Senate Democrats about changing the filibuster, Kyrsten Sinema delivered a speech on the Senate floor repeating her opposition to amending the rule.
I will not support separate actions that worsen the underlying disease of division infecting our country.
President Biden emerging from the meeting, sounding somewhat somber.
I hope we can get this done. The honest-to-God answer is, I don't know whether we can get this done.
Democrats say new protections are needed at the ballot box because 19 states have passed laws restricting voting rights in the wake of former President Trump's lies about there being widespread election fraud.
This is a defining moral moment. It is the most important thing we can do this Congress.
Last night, Biden holding a private meeting at the White House with Senators Sinema and Joe Manchin, another conservative Democrat opposed to changing the filibuster rule. The White House describing this second meeting as a candid and respectful exchange about views on voting rights, but no mention of a deal. For now, the Freedom to Vote Act and the John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act are scheduled to be debated Tuesday, but without a change to the filibuster. Democrats don't have the 60 votes needed to end debate and move on to a vote. Still, the administration vowing to continue their fight for voting rights.
I will be continuing with extensive meetings and discussions about how we can see this through.
Our thanks to Ike. Martin Luther King Jr. spoke about the importance of voting rights in a speech at the Prayer Pilgrimage for Freedom, which gathered in Washington back in 1957, and his words still resonate today.
Give us the ballot, and we will no longer have to worry the federal government about our basic rights. Give us the ballot, and we will no longer plead to the federal government for passage of an anti-lynching law. We will, by the power of our vote, write the law on the statute books of the South and bring an end to the dastardly acts of the hooded perpetrators of violence.
Tonight, our conversation with King's eldest son, Martin Luther King III, and daughter-in-law, Andrea Waters King, about the latest battle over election laws.
All of us can create change when we choose to show up and speak out.
Our daughter, Yolanda, is the only grandchild of Martin Luther King Jr. and Coretta Scott King. She was born in 2008. In 2013, the Voting Rights Act, the cornerstone of her grandfather's legacy, was basically dismantled. And last year in our home state of Georgia, Georgia was one of the 19 states last year that passed these suppressive and repressive laws as it relates to access to voting in the ballot box. So in a very real sense, Yolanda and her peers at 13 short years are standing today with less voting rights than the day that they were born. And I can't imagine that that was a dream of Martin Luther King Jr. That was a dream that he would have for his granddaughter.
Are you optimistic about her generation having voting rights?
Well, we're certainly optimistic in the sense that we saw just a year and a half ago, almost 2 years now, millions of young people across our nation and the world who were engaged tragically after the death of George Floyd. And my point is, I think this generation has more of a spirit, even more of a spirit of activism. I feel bad that we're still having this fight, but it is said that a people that do not remember their history are doomed to repeat the mistakes of the past. And so we have to finally get it right. For many years, we passed and reauthorized the Voting Rights Act every 15 or 20 years. Well, we need to have legislation in place so that it never has to be addressed again permanently. That's what federal voting rights protections are about. Voting rights protections and expansions for everyone.
Why is this something that needs to constantly be renewed and revisited? Why has it always been in its initial construct as something that was just temporary?
The fact of the matter is, it has never been done totally correct in the sense that we had to do it initially as an act, and acts have to be reinstated over and over again. I think that's why Congress has designed actual laws that will make it sustainable. Of course, there's a legal provision called a filibuster, which we all know about, which is more designed to stop progress than to make progress go forward. My father said in 1964 that the filibuster was one of the most dangerous things to the health and vitality of our nation, because it had been used for over 100 years to block anti-lynching legislation, to block civil rights legislation, to block anything that represents progress. And today, here we are again, working to get the voting rights done correctly, and the filibuster is being used to keep it even from getting to the floor for discussion.
And you all said that you remain optimistic. At this point, what do you see as potentially your last or only hope in order to get it passed?
There is still the power of the people to make their voices heard. The Senate will not reconvene until, at this point, we're hearing Tuesday. But they are still convening around their phones and around their social media and looking at petitions. And Coretta Scott King always envisioned Martin Luther King Jr. Day as a day on, not a day off. So this holiday, more than any other, is critical for people to make their voices heard. This is a fight for our democracy. This is a fight for the legacy of so many that fought and died and bled for this. And we know no retreat. So we will keep going on this until it's done. If it's not done this week, if it's not done this month, if it's not done this year, if it's next year or the year after that, we will keep going until voting rights are secured for every American in this country.
How would you like Americans to commemorate Martin Luther King Day this year?
People need to be using. We hope they will. There's King holiday is observed all over our nation in every state and many cities. In each one of those engagements, we need to be talking about making sure the right to vote is protected. That's how we, in my judgment, observe the Martin Luther King Jr. holiday. Dad would have been 93 years old.
And at the end of the day, this is not a Democrat issue. This is not a Republican issue. This is an American issue.
Our thanks to Martin Luther King III and his wife, Andrea, for speaking with us. Joining us now is Jeffrey Robinson, the former deputy legal director of the ACLU, where he directed the Trone Center for Justice and Equality. Currently, Robinson is the founder of the Who We Are Project, an organization that tackles the history of anti-Black racism and white supremacy in America. Now, based on a lecture that he gave back in 2018, and joining us now to discuss the documentary is Mr. Jeffrey Robinson himself. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
So you left your position as director of ACLU's Trone Center of Justice last spring to start the Who We Are Project. What motivated you to start the organization, and what are your hopes for it?
I think there are two reasons I left that job at the ACLU, which was a great job. I was in charge of the ACLU's work on criminal legal reform and on racial justice. And there were excellent leaders in the civil rights community ready to step into those roles, number one. And number two, I believe that education about our true history is a foundational piece that has been missing from our national dialogue and from our national state, local, and federal actions to try and end racism in America. And the false history that people rely on is really, really deadly.
And there are a number of hard truths and painful histories of this country that are brought to light in this film. Were there any particular revelations that you discovered in the process of making it, some things that surprised even you?
I think despite having one of the best educations in America, I was learning many of the facts in the film in my 50s, and I was constantly surprised. I would say the two things that stood out were the comments that the people who founded the country made when slavery and white supremacy was right on the table at the Constitutional Convention. And people are writing each other saying, this is what we ought to do. I was surprised at the depth of white supremacy there.
And did that impact you in a personal way, kind of learning some of these things for the first time?
Yes, it did. I felt ignorant. I felt embarrassed. I didn't grow up reading about the civil rights movement. I grew up in the middle of it. My older brother and I integrated a Catholic school in Memphis, Tennessee in 1963. So if anybody should know this information, it should have been me. And I was really struggling with that. And when I finally forgave myself, I figured I'll blame my teachers. That'll make me feel better. And then I thought, well, how can I blame my teachers for teaching me something that they were never taught?
At a lecture in New York, you once discussed white privilege and how for people of color, this playing field is not level. Explain what you mean by that, and what do you say to white people who believe that they are not privileged?
White privilege, the concept doesn't mean that white people haven't struggled, doesn't mean that they haven't overcome obstacles. It doesn't mean that they haven't gone through roadblocks to get where they are in life. It means that in addition to all of those things that they had to go through, their skin isn't black.
In the film, you also explain the significance of slave patrol and its link to modern day policing. Explain the connection there.
I think when you look back in history, especially in the South, that many modern-day police departments originated in slave patrols. And understand, Article 4 of the Constitution made attempts by black people to be free illegal and unconstitutional. And so someone had to enforce that constitutional provision. And it started out in slave patrols. There were modern-day police departments that formed out of them. I'm not saying modern-day police officers are part of a slave patrol. I am saying that law enforcement in America, since the beginning, since the document that formed our country, has been given the role of controlling the black population.
And you collaborated with two white filmmakers on this documentary, sisters Sarah and Emily Kunstler. Though this is a film about the history of black oppression and resistance, why did you feel that it was important for white people to be a part of this storytelling?
The history that I'm talking about has been stolen from all of us. And it is on all of us to reckon with that history and to reclaim that history. Sarah and Emily Kunstler came to me as anti-racist allies who wanted to help me get the message I was trying to get across to as many Americans as possible.
In your greatest expectations, what's your hope that people take away from this documentary?
I hope people have moments of severe cognitive dissonance. I think George Orwell said it best when he said, "Who controls the past controls the future." And if your understanding of American history is that everything was solved with the civil rights movement and it's been an equal, absolute playing field since then, maybe that makes a little bit of sense. But if you understand our true history, you understand that the way America looks today is for radically different reasons. And if we don't understand our history, we will continue to make policies and practices going forward that will just exacerbate that history. We can't solve the problem of racism in America if we don't acknowledge our true history.
And lastly, you were just 11 years old when Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated. You lived through historical moments such as the Civil Rights Act and the Voting Rights Act becoming enacted. Of course, today is MLK Day. What do you feel about where we are as a country more than 5 decades later as far as progress on racism is concerned?
I felt in 1968, and this is talked about in the film, that America was at a tipping point when it came to racial justice. And the King assassination made us roll back just like we had at the end of the Civil War when Reconstruction was working, and we rolled back just like when we went from colonial America to constitutional America. And as the Constitution was being written, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and those things were found to be consistent with owning people as property. But if we reckon with this history, if good-hearted Americans, conservative or liberal, understand the actual truth about our history, America is going to head in a different direction.
Jeffrey Robinson, we thank you so much for your time and insight. And once again, Who We Are, a chronicle of racism in America, is now playing in select theaters.
Thank you.
And still to come, the new threats from Russia's top negotiator. Are they really preparing to invade Ukraine? And how will the administration respond? And with those bone-chilling temperatures once again forecasted for large swaths of the country, how can you save on that home electric bill?
With so much at stake, so much on the line, more Americans turn here than any place else. ABC News World News Tonight with David Muir, America's #1 most watched newscast, now streaming on ABC News Live.
It was a scary time.
In the 70s, you had multiple bodies showing up in Los Angeles.
There were so many murders happening. They had to have a name for it, serial killer.
There was a human head in there. This was premeditated evil.
We have this clock. This person is going to do this again.
It's me against the killer. Who's going to win?
We'll see who laughs last.
What came next was unlike anything they had ever seen.
Admit it, these days, what you need to know
seems to change just about every day.
What is it that you really want to know, need to know?
To help you not just get through your day,
but to make the most of it. Feel smarter.
Feel better.
Feel happier.
Well, how about a third hour of Good Morning America?
GMA 3, what you need to know. Now streaming on ABC News Live.
It's all about you.
I risked my life. I put my family in danger. If I was caught, they would have put a bullet in my head. But it was the right thing to do. It was the only thing to do.
Terror plot foiled in Garden City, Kansas.
That would have been one of the most deadly acts of domestic terrorism ever in the United States.
It would have been Oklahoma City.
He put his family, himself, in jeopardy for us.
Assault on the Capitol, the ABC News original, exclusively on Hulu, now streaming. This is what being live is all about. This is ABC News Live.
All right, we're gonna move back. Let's move back.
We're surrounded by people squeezing into this bomb shelter.
We're on an urgent delivery run with...
Not afraid to go there.
So my question, Mr. President, what are you so afraid of?
breaking news, live events.
This is the moment.
Streaming straight to you, anytime, anywhere.
You just met one friend right here.
You're watching ABC News Live. Thanks for streaming with us.
National parks are incredibly safe places. A crime will happen.
Hey, Mama. My wife had fallen. She's in really critical condition.
At that time, I thought it was just a tragic accident.
There's still a lot of questions we need to ask.
There were small things that didn't totally add up.
This is 2 lives for Harold that have died now. I was shocked. Something's not right.
Welcome back, everyone. We're tracking several headlines around the world. China announcing that tickets will not be sold for the Winter Olympic and Paralympic Games to the general public because of COVID-19. Instead, tickets will be distributed by authorities. This comes as Beijing's first Omicron case was detected in a neighborhood where Olympic figure skating will take place. A deadly day in Sudan. At least 7 killed and 100 wounded as security forces opened fire on protesters who had taken to the streets to demonstrate against the military coup that took place there in October. This comes after Sudan's Prime Minister Abdallah Hamdok stepped down earlier this month after he failed to bridge the gap between the generals and the country's pro-democracy movement. A new investigation has identified the suspect who may have revealed Anne Frank and her family's hideout to the Nazis 77 years later. A team of specialists, including an ex-FBI agent, concluded the likely suspect was a Jewish notary by the name of Arnold Vandenberg, who gave up the information in order to save his own family. The team also suggested that Otto Frank, Anne Frank's father, had suspected it was Vandenberg who gave them up, but kept it a secret. Tensions continue to escalate between the U.S. and Russia over Ukraine. Russia mobilizing troops and a bipartisan group of U.S. senators on the ground in Ukraine. Our Ian Panels in Kiev for us with more.
Tonight, U.S. senators delivering a tough message to Vladimir Putin as this crisis intensifies.
We will give the people of Ukraine the arms, lethal arms, they need to defend their lives and livelihoods.
U.S. lawmakers meeting in Kiev today with the Ukrainian president, pledging their full support, promising the American government will take steps to deter Russia from invading.
If Russia crosses that border, if it ramps up the pressure on Ukraine or Europe, what do you want to see about the possibility of invasion?
If Russia moves any further into Ukraine, there's going to be significant, serious, unprecedented, crushing sanctions on Russia from the United States.
It's up to President Putin now to decide.
100,000 Russian troops massed near the Ukraine border, the Kremlin demanding a guarantee Ukraine won't join NATO, threatening a military response if it doesn't get one. The Kremlin denying it has plans to invade, but today not ruling out deploying military assets much closer to the US, potentially in Latin America.
Tensions really increasing there. Ian Panel joins us now. And Ian, we've heard the ratcheting up of rhetoric and the concerns from U.S. officials about potential Russian actions. But you're on the ground there in Ukraine. Do people there really feel that they are very much on potentially the precipice of war?
Yeah, Lindsay, I mean, this has always been the weird thing about this ratcheting up, the increase in tensions, the possibility of some kind of military action, is that there's been a real dichotomy, if you like, between the mood music that's come out of NATO and the Biden administration and the tempo on the ground. A lot of people here have lived with conflict essentially for 8 years now, and they don't necessarily live on the edge of their seats. They're not worried necessarily that things are about to deteriorate. But politically, that isn't the case. We've seen these US senators here in town. The president, the Ukrainian government is absolutely laser focused on dealing with NATO, dealing with the Biden administration, and worried about what it is that Russia plans to do. And the truth is, despite all the talks that have taken place, I don't think the ground has really shifted. No one really knows what Vladimir Putin intends when he talks about a military technical response. One thing is very, very clear tonight, is that the positions as publicly laid out by both the Biden administration and the Kremlin, there is no common ground there. Doesn't appear to be any common ground. If that is the case, then the ball is in the court of the Kremlin. How does he respond? There are all sorts of suggestions out there. An invasion would escalate this crisis to really to levels that we haven't seen since the end of the Cold War. The question is that really what Putin wants? Lindsay?
So much uncertainty as a result of that uncommon ground there. Ian Pannell, our thanks to you. Meanwhile, back here at home, many of us are spending more time inside our homes these days, using much more energy than normal, which means higher costs. ABC's Becky Worley, though, has some simple changes that you can make to save big right away.
School, work, and play. It's all happening at home these days, which means your electricity meter is on overdrive.
People are using more energy at home because home is now work as well as home, and much less energy in office buildings.
The Gurney family from New York, it's one of those families seeing a big increase. They're stuck at home, and both their 20-something-year-old children have returned to what was an empty nest.
More cooking, more laundry, more heating, more electricity.
Exactly. More of everything.
Yes.
To get some insider tips on cutting the Gurney's costs, we went straight to their power source, New York energy company Con Edison. Con Ed's energy efficiency group completing what's called an energy audit, asking a series of questions to assess the family's power usage.
We do recommend turning your thermostats down as much as is comfortable.
The Gurneys make several improvements, like switching from incandescent to LED light bulbs, opting out of the dishwasher's heated dry cycle, and instead opening the door to let the dishes air dry. With the help of products like these Wi-Fi connected power strips and light bulbs. They use a simple app so that you can create on-off schedules for individual plugs.
Now, another way to save money is to prevent heat loss. And the way you do that is with one of these. It's a thermal gun. You point it at the ceiling, the walls, even doors to see where you might need weather stripping or to replace insulation or even patch up cracks.
We track the Gurney's progress through Con Ed's app. Many major energy companies allow you to track your real-time usage, and after 4 days, they see some real progress. Con Ed estimates just switching to LEDs could save the Gurneys at least $100 a year, and those smart power strips, roughly $40 a year. Even something small like taking the heated dry cycle off the dishwasher can save them $20 a year. Those 3 small changes will save them about $800 over 5 years.
Good tips there. Our thanks to Becky for that. Finally tonight, on this day of celebration for Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., ABC's Whit Johnson reports on the volunteers living Dr. King's legacy.
On this Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day, in every corner of the country, Americans remembering the life of Dr. King and honoring him with a day of service. From Portland to New York City, volunteers collecting food, donating clothes and toys. In Chicago's South Side at Tanner Elementary School, volunteers repainting walls and designing murals. And in Memphis at the National Civil Rights Museum, at the Lorraine Motel, where Dr. King's life was taken at just 39 years old, they are collecting food too and calling on the community to donate blood. And 54 years after his death, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s words just as powerful in this time. This is the letter he wrote while in a Birmingham jail in 1963.
Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. We are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny. Whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly.
A year later, Dr. King on the power of peace and nonviolence.
Nonviolence is a powerful and just weapon. Indeed, it is a weapon unique in history, which cuts without wounding and ennobles a man who wields it.
And this would be his final Sunday sermon at Washington National Cathedral 4 days before his death.
However dark it is, however deep the angry feelings are and the violent explosions are, I can still sing, we shall overcome. We shall overcome because the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends toward justice.
Nonviolence cuts without wounding. Our thanks to Whit Johnson for that. And that is our show for tonight. Be sure to stay tuned to ABC News Live for more context and analysis of the day's top stories. I'm Lindsay Davis. Thanks so much for streaming with us. Have a great night.
It was an extraordinary story.
A computer salesman was supposed to